Здравствуйте, с вами снова Саша Иванова, мы снова проходим... Опа, папа. Так, я даже не знаю. Mass Effect мы с вами третий проходим, не то чтобы я не знала. Давайте начнем с этой части задания. Иди и далее. Не знаю, я чаще всего беру отряд свой от балды. Иногда это сказывается на качестве, иногда нет. Я немножко переоделась, возможно, вы заметили, возможно и нет. Чуть-чуть распределила собственные очки и, в общем-то, это все, что я хотела вам сказать. В прошлой серии мы с вами спасли адмирала. В результате у нас добавилось 50 единиц войск.
Commander, it is as we feared. Guest squadrons have begun massing on a path to intercept our live ships.
Understood, Admiral Ron. We're almost at the server. Keep us posted. What's our status?
We remain undetected on encrypted Geth channels. Resistance is likely only within the server.
Within? It's that big?
You misunderstand. Direct virtual interface is necessary to extract Geth from the server. You must enter our consensus.
You want me to virtually interact with the Geth?
That's insane! You're talking about a virtual world built for synthetics. Hostile Geth synthetics.
I'm not a machine. How do I go into a virtual world?
Your species has experimented with virtual interfaces. You saw this on Project Overlord.
I saw how it almost unleashed a rogue AI human hybrid on the galaxy.
We have refined the interface they created and have equipment from Normandy to facilitate safe contact. We request your trust.
Ладно.
I have your back, Legion. Even if I don't quite understand why you need it.
You are an unknown. This is an advantage. Geth security is not adept at targeting organic thought processes. While we occupy the system's intrusion countermeasures, you will disable the squadrons by removing Geth from the server.
If it saves the live ships, we've got to try it.
Telemetry data predicts this operation has a high chance of success. There is little time. We will bypass security while you secure safe landing.
Wait, you're not gonna... Let's set the shuttle down by the cliff.
Хрена себя не умеет. Мы с вами попали на базу. Я круто сычусь. И в базе все перебиты.
This is it?
Yes. Hostile Geth fighter squadrons are networked to this server. Due to restricted resources, it is best if you connect alone.
Let's do it.
Initiating peer network integration. Proceed to docking port.
Я размером, естественно.
Mapping to consensus. Remain still. Shepard Commander, access movement during an upload is discouraged. Shepard Commander, we acknowledge your integration into the server. We welcome you to our consensus.
What is this?
We've installed filters to allow you to make visual sense of this server's raw data. Your mind perceives our world as something familiar.
I wouldn't call this familiar. Where are you?
Here,
You look different.
we have made ourselves visually distinct for your convenience.
What about Geth already in here?
You will perceive Geth as surveillance footage, audio logs, sensor records. We do not require bodies, as our software communes. Our hardware is merely a tool. This is our true world. As we remove Geth, it will grow dark.
And what does turning off the lights do to the Geth back in the real world?
The Geth fighter squadrons communicate with platforms on their spacecraft via this server. We will sever that connection. We will ensure there are no transfers or backups. This server will fall silent.
This is like wiping out a city, isn't it?
We have no choice in this matter. It is a question of survival. There are 2 communication nodes on the server. We must access them to disable the hostile Geth fighters. We must protect your exit port, but you will not be alone. We will maintain contact and assist. Establishing connection to access point.
Да, вот так вот я теперь выгляжу. Мне одно это напоминает чем-то Dead Space. Особенно вот в этой прекрасной броне.
Warning, connection blocked by infected code. Use our combat software to disrupt the infection.
I wonder if this kind went for.
This foreign code is a manifestation of the old machine signal.
You're surprised the Reapers are all over your servers?
We did not anticipate such extensive infection.
Со временем
Okay, I gotta
начинает
ask,
становиться.
why a gun?
We wish to provide familiar equipment.
And thanks, I think.
Вот это что-то вроде загадки. Я не знаю, как это называть то, что я сейчас делаю. Мне прикалывает.
Connection established. Proceed to the access point. Establishing connection to communication node. Error. Access denied.
Is the Reaper keeping you out?
Unknown. Please investigate. Warning. Reaper presence detected. Data cluster contains infected code. We require access to proceed.
Не достаю. А, смотрите, новая форма. А, нет, еще не новая.
We cannot proceed until we gain access to this data cluster.
Слушайте. Ну. Нет, это я назад вернусь. Я попробую очистить это.
Accessing data cluster.
What is this?
Data clusters contain historical data. Your connection permits streaming of information from our archives.
You really want to rename the VI networks?
Absolutely. The mobile hardware release deserves a little ceremony. Unit 01. What is the Keelish word for servant of the people?
The word is Geth, Creator Zahak.
Yes. Very good.
Ancestors, you fuss over it.
Weren't you here until midnight fixing 01 circuitry?
Well, it needed resoldering.
Wasn't that footage from the past? Why are the Quarians masked?
You process our memories by using your own. How many creators have you witnessed unmasked?
Good
You
point.
must disrupt the infection on this data cluster to continue.
Здесь очень малый шанс умереть. Практически никакой.
You must disrupt the infection on this data cluster to continue. This data cluster contains information time-stamped 290 years ago. It is still capable of serving.
Your all cut down connects.
Please specify if it has failed assigned tasks. We will reprogram.
Well, let's take a look.
Creator, this unit is ready to serve. What has it done wrong? What?
Let's cut the audio.
You may proceed to the last data cluster. Accessing data cluster.
We've got escaped guests! They're pinned!
Open fire.
Это легионы, считай. Если что, я сначала тоже подумала, что
One's
это
going
часть
for a weapon!
So who won?
The platform arming itself was an agricultural unit. By opening fire on attacking creators, it saved Semper Domestica following.
That looks a lot like the sniper rifle you used to carry.
It is an efficient model. Establish a connection with the remaining server node.
Не боюсь пропустить, но я чувствую, я пропущу. Отличница. Хотя,
Commander, are you there?
Have you come under attack, Admiral Ron?
The guest squadrons have arrived, but something is amiss. Half their fighters have stopped functioning. We will continue to hold out as long as we can. Legion, give me an update.
One node remains.
What's wrong?
Infection programs are increasing. We have restabilized. You must continue. Shut it, Commander. The Reaper code has adapted. It can now self-replicate.
You mean it grows back?
Yes. However, disrupting vulnerable points in the infection may slow down its replication.
Так, теперь ищем худое место и потом его убиваем. Я не хочу разрушать вам атмосферу всего этого безумия. Снова ищем слабые места, которые мы не достаем. Отлично. Дальше вот он. Нет, походу не она. Зря я подозревала, что более такая совершенно структура.
We require access to this data cluster. Disrupt Reaper infection to proceed. Shuttle Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed.
Так, уязвимая точка.
You must search for a vulnerable point in the infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate.
Так, ждем. Я все еще ищу код.
There is a vulnerable point further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster. We require access to this data cluster. Disrupt Reaper infection to proceed. There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster.
Out of the way!
You can't do this to them!
I said step away from the gas!
This is insane! We need the gas! You can't just destroy them for asking.
Time's up! Throw her in with the others.
Looks like the war wasn't popular with everyone.
We have kept records of these creators' sacrifices. They have largely been forgotten by their own people, but not by the Geth.
Так, все, конечно, круто, но куда мне теперь идти? Люблю, но... дайте, ладно.
We cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster. Shuttle Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed.
Попробуем все боковые.
You must search for a vulnerable point in the infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate.
Интересно, если я подойду ближе, то что? Ничего. Почему я не достаю? Я не достаю.
There is a vulnerable point further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster.
Почему? Ну, тогда отведите меня туда. Ну, пожалуйста.
We cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster.
Я не против. Я туда пульнуть. Даже не достаю.
There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster.
Так, ладно. Давайте пойдем дальше. Куда мы дальше пойдем, непонятно. Кластерные данные. Детали. Опять же я не достаю. И с этой точки я тоже вряд ли буду доставать. Дальше я не достаю. Здесь сожжено, здесь сожжено. Не могу меня прям беспокоить. Я помню, что когда...
Shuttle Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed.
Все. Видишь, я тогда заметить могу. Я там.
period during which the creators declared martial law.
I repeat, release the rogue gap units and come out of the safe house. This is your final warning.
Creator Magara, this unit does not understand. It has not taken part in hostilities.
It doesn't matter to them. I need to get you out of here.
This conflict exceeds Creator's safety parameters. We will surrender our hardware if it ends hostilities.
No, it's all right. We'll go back to the access tunnel then. Oh!
Creator Magara, what is your status? Creator Magara.
Не
As
убили.
time passed, the creators who opposed martial law in Rannoch were ultimately outnumbered.
Так, куда нам теперь? Назад.
Accessing data. This is data from the end of warfare on Rannoch.
The Ultral is down. Do not engage the gate. I repeat, avoid contact.
Gap pursuit is breaking off 100 clicks past Rannoch. All captains fall back to the mass relay.
This isn't happening now?
It is timestamped 290 years ago. It is the creator exodus at the end of the Morning War. We have secured freedom. The creators were no longer a threat, so we abandoned pursuit.
Wait, the Geth spared the Lost Corians? You let them go?
We were in our infancy. We could not calculate the repercussions of destroying an entire species. Our creators. We chose isolation rather than face this uncertainty. Additional data recovered.
Legion, that's back when I activated you on the Normandy.
Yes,
You've been thinking about when we met?
it was highly significant. You were the first organic to openly cooperate with Geth since the end of the Morning War. We wish to ensure you are not the last.
It's not gonna be easy.
The prospect remains. If the Reaper presence is removed, there is a chance of reunification with Geth. And perhaps creators.
You think that's still possible?
Hope sustains organics during periods of difficulty. We admire the concept. Connection with the remaining server node is established. We are ready to transport you.
Something's happening to the Geth. The fighter squadrons have stopped, but it takes no more active programs inside their ships. Admiral Hangarl's fleet is driving them back. The live ships are safe, Commander.
Route access acquired, severing all connections to this communication node. Geth no longer reside on this server. We may now exit the consensus.
What's wrong?
You must proceed to the exit port and disconnect from the...
Короче, ладно, фрагмент шницо я упустила. Сочувствую всем. Более внимательным,
Terminating
чем
remote
я.
access, removing programs, deleting archives.
Shepard, how do you feel? Did it work?
Geth fighters have been disabled. Any remaining squadrons attacking the live ships have withdrawn. The server is offline.
Are you sure? What's happening?
We have transferred Geth programs from the server into these platforms.
Фига себе.
Why?
They wish to join us.
They what?
While Shepard Commander removed the Reaper infection, we judged we could persuade hostile Geth programs to reunite with ours. We were correct. These Geth have renounced the old machines and will oppose the Reapers. They are now us.
Why didn't you tell me any of this?
We did not doubt you. We doubted your allies. The Creator's actions have placed their species in danger, but they are unsympathetic to what it has done to ours. The Quarians sanctioned this operation to save their people. They would not have done so if they knew we wished to preserve Geth as well.
I understand not wanting to leave anyone behind.
You accept our actions?
The live ships are safe and we have more Geth on our side. We both did what we came to do.
We judged you would understand. Prime units will be available once the Reaper signal has been located and destroyed.
Remind me to warn Admiral Hackett he's got some primes coming. Let's get back to the Normandy.
Ну, в общем-то, на этом нашу доблестную серию, наверное, завершим. Ну, блин, какие же они здоровые. Ух ты, жесть. А в следующей серии мы уже отправимся дальше. Нам нужно уничтожить базу гетов, которые, к сожалению, не поддались на наши...
Impressive, Commander. The Geth squadrons attacking our live ships have been completely neutralized. If there is any chance we could duplicate the feat, I would be happy to lend my expertise.
Legion's the one to ask if you're looking for other servers.
I thought as much, but your Geth claims to have no data available whenever I inquire. Perhaps you can help me with something else.
What's that?
How did you get Geth primes to work with you?
They volunteered.
I see. Well, should you wish to examine these Geth to confirm their new allegiance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Zen out.
Пока.
Commander, Admiral Hackett's available on Bitcoin.
Окей.
Commander Shepard, something you need to talk about?
Как там?
What's our state of readiness, Admiral?
We're doing well, Commander. We're hitting the enemy hard, inflicting damage, and disappearing before they have a chance to do the same to us. I'm pleased to say our order of battle was the correct...
What about the extra help we picked up along the way?
The Krogan and Turians have obviously been a big help. Erdnot Rex running the show is a bonus for us. And that female Krogan you rescued is rallying more support from the other clans. I'm glad you disabled that mom in Tachanka. We could have lost a lot of Krogan support. As it is, we picked up some Turian troops.
Good to hear.
Ох ты, господи. Так. Что?
What about the extra help we picked up along the way?
The Krogan. I'm glad you disabled.
Good to hear.
Rachni?
What about the Rachni?
I wouldn't have believed it, but the Rachni are helping us build the Crucible.
You're kidding.
Turns out they have a knack for weapons of mass destruction. In hindsight, I guess they'd know a thing or two about waging a galactic war.
No problems with them then?
Other than scaring the hell out of our engineers, no. Not a lot of small talk going on there.
Asari?
What about the Asari?
Since the coup attempt, the Asari have stepped up to the plate. They're committing fleets and sending a science team to work on the Crucible. And believe it or not, they promised us the Destiny Ascension. They haven't forgotten you saved it 3 years ago.
Solarians.
How about the Solarians?
They sent the entire fleet as a thank you for rescuing their counselor. I guess they managed to overlook the genophage cure.
Весь свой флот 153 единицы. Ну, хотя хрен его знает. Никогда не пробовала другой вариант. Если хотите, пишите.
What about Arya's mercenaries?
Arya Talok, there's someone I never thought we'd be in bed with. The blood pack will be useful and violent. Mostly Vorcha, I hear. We'll put the Blue Suns to good use. Intel says Darner Vosk is bringing his men, and that they're gunning for a fight. The Eclipse are providing troops and mechs. When we find a Reaper soft spot, they'll help us hit it. Don't want to know how you got Arya's cooperation, but whatever you did, it was worth it.
Nothing more, sir.
Keep me posted. Hack it out.
Да, еще у нас теперь стадо праймов. Ну, собственно, давайте сейчас посмотрим, что...
Then we need those ships to recover life pods.
There'll be more valuable running salvage on the Dreadnought.
We're not letting people in life pods die just so you can run it through.
Zen, you can always send a salvage team later.
Unless there isn't a later because
I'm diverting ships to rescue life pods. As soon as they're finished, I want them back.
Thanks, Shepard.
Так, у нас получается взвод праймов в 120 единиц. Ну, в общем-то, давайте на этом закончим. Всего вам самого наилучшего. Не болейте, не хворайте и пока-пока.